The engines roared like thunder over the sun-baked asphalt of Copper Valley Raceway. In the pits, tempers were already running hot, not from the heat, but from secrets that were about to unravel. This was the Copper Valley 500, and for the 5 top racers in the circuit, it wasn't just about trophies anymore. It was about survival, reputation, and revenge. At the centre of it all was Dax Maddox, a 3-time champion with a clean record and a gleaming white car, the poster boy of the league. But behind his ever-composed facade was a man haunted by a shadow. His younger brother, Reese, who had died on this very track 5 years earlier, in what had been officially ruled a tragic accident. Dax had never truly bought that version of the story. In the garage next to Dax's stood Nova Raines, the lone female racer in the top 5 and by far the most aggressive on the track. She was known for her fearless overtakes and uncanny ability to force her rivals into mistakes. Nova had a chip on her shoulder from years of being dismissed in a male-dominated sport, and a secret even bigger than her grudge. She had been Reese Maddox's secret girlfriend. When he died, her heart shattered. She believed he was killed intentionally, and she was here to find out who had done it. Over in the third garage was Cole Vexler, a flashy, arrogant up-and-comer who had clawed his way into the top rankings using both charm and an alarming number of grey area tactics. His family had money, power, and a deep relationship with the race officials. Cole wasn't just racing for the trophy. He was racing to preserve the empire his father built on speed and secrets. Then there was Milo Smoke Sanchez, the veteran. Gruff, quiet, and dangerously smart, Milo had seen it all in his 30 years on the circuit. He had been racing on the day Reese died. He remembered the crash too well. Something about it had always felt staged. And if there was one thing Milo didn't do, it was forget a detail. Lastly came Tara Quinn, a motorsports journalist embedded for the season to film a documentary and potentially uncover the story of the decade. What nobody realised was that Tara wasn't just following the action. She was orchestrating parts of it. Years ago, she had been a rising racer herself, until her career was wrecked by a scandal that never touched the people who deserved it. She had a list, and every racer in the top 5 was on it. The morning of the qualifier, tensions were razor sharp. Tara leaned against her equipment van, camera in hand, pretending to shoot footage while she zoomed in on Cole's crew chief, who was subtly handing off a small, unmarked black bag to a man in official racewear. She clicked a photo, blackmail material maybe, or evidence. She was interrupted by Dax's car screaming past, pulling into the practice lane. He was smooth, controlled, but something flickered in his expression as he stepped out of the vehicle. Confusion or maybe concern. His eyes scanned the track, then locked onto Milo, who was already leaning against his own car like a sentinel. "You switched something on my rear axle?" Dax asked under his breath as they passed each other. Milo's jaw tightened. "If something's off, maybe check your own crew, or better yet, Cole's." Nova had overheard enough. She stepped between them. "We gonna play paranoia or race today?" "Funny coming from you," Dax shot back. Nova didn't flinch. "At least I don't pretend I'm squeaky clean." Cole strolled over, chewing gum like it was the only thing anchoring him to earth. "Everyone's so intense," he smirked. "It's just practice." Tara captured every second. That night, she reviewed her footage in her trailer, drinking stale coffee while lightning flickered far off in the sky. She played back a frame of Cole's car. Freeze. Enhancing the corner of the footage, she spotted a decal that hadn't been there during last week's race. A skull and wrench logo. The same one Reese's car had sported before the crash. It had been scrubbed from the league entirely, supposedly too controversial. Tara's heart pounded. Someone was sending a message. But who? The next morning, the qualifying race was chaos. Nova spun out in lap 8. Her steering failed entirely on a clean turn. Dax's radio mysteriously cut out, and his fuel gauge spiked and dropped erratically. Cole set a blistering lap time, but Milo filed a complaint after spotting what he believed to be tampered rear spoilers, a cheat that could offer a full second of advantage per lap. The pit lane buzzed with accusations. In the press room, Tara cornered Nova. "You think that was sabotage?" Tara asked, pointing to Nova's wrecked car. Nova's eyes were steel. "I don't think, I know, and I'm not the only one someone's trying to silence." She paused, leaning closer. "Reese's old engine, the one he used when he died. Someone pulled it from storage last week. Want to guess whose garage it's in now?" Tara froze. "Whose?" Nova stared straight into her. "Cole Vexler's." The smell of burnt rubber still hung in the air 2 days after Nova's crash. Mechanics toiled around the clock, but the garage wasn't just a repair zone anymore. It was a war room. Tensions were growing unbearable, fueled by whispered accusations, anonymous text messages, and increasingly dangerous incidents during practice laps. Dax Maddox stood over Nova's damaged car, arms crossed. The suspension was cracked clean through, a failure that should have never happened under regular racing conditions. He knew Nova wasn't lying. Someone was tampering with equipment, and if Nova was targeted, he might be next. "You think Cole did it?" Dax asked Milo, who had silently joined him in the garage. Milo didn't answer immediately. He pulled a pack of gum from his pocket, unwrapped a stick, and stared at the suspension like it owed him answers. "I think this track is cursed," he finally said. "But yeah, if I had to bet, I'd put money on Cole." Dax exhaled. "What does he gain?" Milo gave him a flat look. "A championship, your legacy, and probably a cover-up for what happened to Reese." That name still made Dax flinch. "You were there," he said, "the day Reese crashed. Tell me what you saw." Milo's eyes darkened. "I saw him clip the wall out of nowhere. No oil on the track, no warning, just boom, like something gave out." Dax clenched his jaw. He'd never watched the full footage, couldn't. But now he had to. He needed truth, not speculation. Later that night in his trailer, Dax played the crash on loop. The moment of impact was brief, almost surreal. Reese's car didn't swerve, it stiffened. Like the steering locked. Dax zoomed in. A glint. Something metallic fell off the undercarriage milliseconds before the spin. He froze the frame. There. A clean break. Bolts sheared too perfectly. Not a malfunction. A clean sabotage. The next morning, Tara Quinn intercepted Nova behind the pit trailers. Tara had spent the last 48 hours building a board of timelines, anomalies, and whispers gathered from side interviews with former pit crew workers. Nova was on her list of people who wanted the truth badly enough to talk. "Did you say Cole has Reese's old engine?" Tara asked directly. Nova nodded. "I saw it being wheeled in. My guess? He's not using it. He's showing it off. Like a trophy." Tara raised her camera. "Can I film this?" Nova hesitated, then shook her head. "Not yet. But if we find out he had something to do with Reese's death, I'll be your lead interview." Tara was about to respond when a sudden roar cut through the garage. Dax's car, careening into the wall during practice. A collective gasp rose from the crews. "Shut it down!" a mechanic yelled. Tara and Nova ran toward the track. Dax climbed out of the car, dazed but unharmed. The front axle had snapped mid-turn. It was the same pattern as Nova's crash. Milo was already there, helping Dax steady himself. "That's no coincidence?" Back in the garage, the race officials arrived to examine the car. Tara filmed from a discreet corner. She caught a brief moment when Cole Vexler, watching from across the pit, smirked before putting his shades back on. It was infuriating. Brazen. Almost a dare. Tara wasn't the only one who noticed. That night, Nova stormed into Cole's VIP tent at the edge of the race park, ignoring the guards who tried to stop her. "You killed Reese, didn't you?" she said, loud enough to make everyone inside freeze. Cole's smile never wavered. "Nova, I think your last crash scrambled your head a bit." Nova advanced on him. "His engine is in your garage. You're sabotaging the rest of us. If you're trying to win by default..." "Wrong," Cole interrupted. "I don't have to sabotage anyone to win. I'm just better." Nova grabbed his collar and hissed. "He trusted you. He called you his friend." Cole's expression finally faltered. For a flash, something cracked beneath the arrogance. Guilt? Fear? Then it vanished. "Don't talk to me about trust. Ask Dax what he was doing the night before Reese died." Nova froze. "What are you talking about?" "Ask him," Cole said, smoothing his shirt. "If you're so interested in truth." Tara caught up with Nova later, trying to calm her down, but Nova was rattled. "I was so sure it was Cole," she muttered. "But what if Dax knows something he never told anyone?" Tara's phone buzzed, a message from an anonymous number. "Meet me at turn 3 tonight. Come alone." Attached was a low-res image of the pit, with a car part circled. Tara stared. It was the same type of bolt found in both Nova's and Dax's wrecks. She made up her mind. That night, flashlight in hand, Tara arrived at turn 3. The area was eerily quiet, except for the soft hum of track lights. She stepped past the barriers, camera rolling, scanning the ground. She didn't see the shadow until it moved. "Who's there?" she called. A figure stepped into view, Milo. "I sent the photo," he said. Tara blinked. "Why?" "Because you're the only one who isn't tied to this by blood or legacy. You're the only one who might tell the whole story." Milo handed her a small bag. Inside were the bolts, not just broken but acid-etched. Precision work. No accident. This was used on Reese's car, Milo said. And again this week. Tara's breath caught. Do you know who did it? I have theories, he said. But I wanted a second opinion before I go public. Why now? Milo's gaze was hard. Because someone tried to kill Dax today. And they won't stop until someone wins. Or dies. The morning of the Grand Apex Championship dawned with a heavy sky. Grey clouds loomed overhead like a warning. A thunderstorm was expected by nightfall, but everyone knew the real storm had already started. Tara uploaded her findings to an encrypted drive. She had 3 backup copies hidden across 3 locations just in case. The evidence Milo handed her the night before, etched bolts, crash frame analysis, engine part serial numbers, all pointed to deliberate sabotage. But one mystery remained. Who? Cole Vexler was the obvious villain. But what if he was only part of it? Tara paced behind the grandstands, then turned as Dax approached. He looked exhausted, bruised from his crash, but his eyes were steady. Do you trust me? He asked without preamble. I trust evidence, she replied. Dax handed her a small audio recorder. I wore a wire when I met with my father last night. Tara pressed play. In the recording, Dax's voice was tight. Tell me what happened the night Reese died. Then came the voice of Arthur Maddox, Dax's father, team owner, racing legend. It wasn't supposed to kill him, Arthur said quietly. Just force him to lose. He was going to go public about the steroid program, and if he did, the whole team would have been ruined. Tara's mouth fell open. You rigged the car? Dax's voice said, full of disbelief. No, Arthur said. I told Cole to. He owed me for covering up his hit and run years ago. He had access to Reese's pit that night. Tara paused the recording. Jesus, she whispered. You've been sitting on this? I needed to be sure, Dax said, and I needed you to be the one to publish it. Tara nodded slowly. I'll get this out, but what are you going to do? Win, Dax said grimly. Then burn it all down. Race day. The track pulsed with tension. Rain threatened but didn't fall. Fans filled the bleachers, clueless about the storm behind the scenes. Nova, Dax, Cole and 4 other drivers lined up in the pit. Engines rumbled like war drums. Dax stood beside Nova's car. Watch your bolts, he whispered. I replaced them myself, she said. Then he walked over to Cole's car. You scared? Dax asked. Cole grinned. Of beating you? Never. Of exposure, Dax clarified. Cole's grin faltered. You don't have the guts. Dax leaned in. You're going to crash before lap 10. Not by sabotage, by justice. He walked away, leaving Cole rattled. The race begins. Lap mot. The pack surges forward. Tyres screech. Nova takes a sharp inside edge, claiming third behind Cole and Dax. Cameras follow the 3 leaders, unaware of the secrets each car carries. Lap 4. Tara's expose drops online. The video, complete with audio confession, bolt photos, and accident timelines, spreads like wildfire. Pit crew members huddle over their phones. Announcers begin receiving updates mid-broadcast. Lap Sow. Arthur Maddox exits the VIP box and disappears. Lap Ton. Dax nudges Cole, just enough to get into his head. He wants him rattled. Lap Teen. Nova takes advantage, slingshots past them both, temporarily leading. Then on lap 10, it happens. Cole's rear axle wobbles. His car shakes. And in a blink, he loses control. The vehicle spins wildly, slamming into the wall. Sparks fly. The crowd screams. But this time, no one dies. Cole crawls out, dazed but alive. He stares at the destroyed car. And for the first time in his career, the arrogance drains from his face. He knows the truth is out. He's done. After the race. Dax finishes second. Nova wins. On the podium, she holds the trophy with shaking hands. It's her first championship, but her eyes scan the crowd for something more meaningful. Justice. Tara finds her backstage. It's done. The article is trending worldwide. Arthur's been arrested. Cole's banned from the league. Nova exhales. And Dax? He's quitting, Tara said. Says he's done driving for his father's ghost. Nova looks down at the trophy. Maybe we can all start over, 1 week later. In a small studio in Charlotte, Tara sits down to record the first episode of her new podcast, Track Truth. Her intro plays over a montage of race footage, crashes, and behind-the-scenes footage. Racing is speed, risk and glory, she says into the mic. But behind the helmets, some wear masks too. This is the story of how a legacy almost became a lie. and how one race rewrote everything. Outside in the parking lot, Dax climbs into a modest old pickup truck, waving to Nova, who's arrived in her own beat-up car. They nod to each other, not rivals anymore, just survivors,